High walls. Towering and imposing, they stood as a testament to the prison's impenetrability. Razor wire, armed guards, constant vigilance was the order of the day. Puente Grande was meant to be inescapable. Mexico's answer to Alcatraz, a fortress of solitude for the most dangerous. A concrete leviathan on the outskirts of Guadalajara, it housed the country's most dangerous criminals. It was a place where hope was meant to be extinguished. Built in 1993, it was supposed to showcase a new era of Mexican justice. A symbol of strength and resolve. No one could escape its walls. The design was flawless, or so they believed, or so they thought. The prison boasted state-of-the-art security systems, motion sensors, infrared cameras, electrified fences. It was a fortress designed to break even the most hardened criminals, a place where escape was not an option. The guards were carefully selected, vetted and trained to deal with the worst of the worst. They were the elite. But no amount of technology or training could prepare them for what was coming. The unexpected was about to unfold, for inside a shadow was growing, a force was gathering, a storm was brewing within the walls. Its name was El Chapo, the most notorious drug lord whose legend was about to grow even larger. Joaquin Guzman Loera, El Chapo, Shorty, a name that would become synonymous with power and fear. He was a man of humble origins who had risen to become a legend in the drug world. From the dusty streets of Sinaloa to the corridors of power, his journey was nothing short of extraordinary. Born into poverty in the mountains of Sinaloa, he had clawed his way to the top of the Sinaloa cartel. His early life was marked by hardship and struggle, but he was determined to change his fate. Ruthless, cunning and ambitious, he had built a drug empire that stretched across continents. His operations were vast, his influence unparalleled. His name was whispered in fear and admiration. To some, he was a hero. To others, a villain. He had already escaped once from prison, a feat that seemed impossible to many. In 1993, he slipped through the cracks of another high-security facility. His escape was a testament to his resourcefulness and determination, but this time, the authorities were confident. They believed they had learned from past mistakes. Puente Grande would hold him. The prison was fortified, designed to be inescapable. They placed him under 24-hour surveillance. Every corner of the prison was watched. His every move was monitored. There was no room for error. He was allowed minimal contact with other inmates. Isolation was their strategy to break him. But they underestimated El Chapo. They didn't realize that his mind was always working, always plotting. He always had a plan. No matter the odds, he was always one step ahead. Money talks. Inside Puente Grande, it roared. El Chapo, with his vast fortune, began to weave his web. Guards were bribed, wardens were bought, entire sections of the prison were under his influence. He transformed his cell into a luxurious suite, complete with a king-size bed, a flat-screen TV, and a fully stocked bar. He held court, received visitors, and even conducted business from the inside.
He had everything. Women, drugs, parties, it was his own little kingdom.
The guards were too scared to refuse his demands. The ones who resisted were quickly dealt with, transferred, disappeared. El Chapo's reach extended beyond the prison walls. His power was absolute. Section 4. The Earth moved.
Ladies and gentlemen, this video is proudly sponsored by One Browser. Don't miss out. One Browser is the must-have tool of 2025. Try it now. Let's get back to our video.
The ground began to shift, literally. The earth beneath the prison was restless, as if it had a secret to tell. A low hum vibrated through the prison at night. At first, it was dismissed as faulty plumbing. The guards and inmates thought it was just another quirk of the old building. But as the weeks turned into months, the sound grew louder, more insistent. It became a nightly ritual, a haunting melody that no one could ignore. Underneath the prison, a secret was taking shape. El Chapo was digging his way out. The mastermind of the operation, he orchestrated every detail with precision. A network of tunnels was being carved out of the earth, leading from El Chapo's cell to a nearby warehouse outside the prison walls. This was no ordinary escape plan. It was an engineering marvel. The work was arduous and dangerous, but El Chapo's men toiled day and night, driven by the promise of freedom and a hefty reward. They faced the constant threat of discovery, yet their determination never wavered. The dirt was smuggled out in laundry carts and disposed of discreetly. Every detail was meticulously planned to avoid suspicion. The guards, blinded by bribes or fear, saw nothing. They turned a blind eye to the unusual activities, ensuring the operation continued without interruption. The earth moved, and so did the wheels of El Chapo's grand escape plan. Section 5. Extradition Looms. The year turned to 2001. A new threat emerged. The United States, tired of El Chapo's reign of terror, began to push for his extradition. The Mexican government, feeling the heat, agreed to extradite El Chapo to face drug trafficking charges in the US. His grip on power was slipping. Time was running out.
He knew that if he was extradited, he would never see the light of day again, a DEA agent involved in the case commented.
El Chapo was facing life in prison. His empire, his freedom, everything he had built was on the line. Desperate times called for desperate measures. The escape plan, meticulously crafted over months, was put into action. Section 6. The Cart of Freedom. January 19th, 2001. The night was hot and still. The usual sounds of the prison echoed through the corridors, the clanging of metal bars, the muffled conversations of inmates. The guards, lulled into a false sense of security, carried out their rounds. They didn't notice the laundry cart being pushed down the hallway. Inside the cart, hidden beneath a pile of dirty laundry, lay El Chapo. He had made his move. The cart was wheeled to the maintenance area, close to the entrance of the tunnel. The guards, paid handsomely for their silence, turned a blind eye. El Chapo slipped into the tunnel, his heart pounding with anticipation and fear. The escape was on.